Oh, hello.
I told you we'd meet later.
So when the snooty cat and the courageous...
Really? Let's go! What the hell's going on up there?
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Imagine this. You're in a theater engrossed in the action unfolding on stage. You're a silent observer, confined by an invisible barrier known as the fourth wall. This conceptual barrier separates the world of the story from the reality of the audience, allowing you to witness the events as a passive observer. But suddenly, this wall is shattered. A character looks straight at you, reaching out from their world into yours. Now, you're not just an observer, you've been captured into the heart of the narrative. But what exactly does this breach mean? How does it transform your viewing experience? More importantly, why would storytellers choose to shatter this wall, risking the suspension of disbelief? Intrigued? Let's delve deeper into this fascinating realm. Join me as we analyze the effects of breaking the fourth wall in diverse narratives, from the humorous antics of Family Guy and Rick and Morty, the confessional dialogue in The Wolf of Wall Street, and The House of Cards, to the unsettling revelations in Fight Club, and the interactive appeal of Elmo's world. Let's embark on an exploration through the labyrinth of cognitive processing, empathy, humor, disbelief, absurdity, and expectation, and uncover the potent impact and hidden nuances of breaking the fourth wall. This journey promises to be a thought-provoking and enlightening experience that will forever change how you perceive storytelling. Buckle up and prepare for a thrilling narrative ride through iconic pop culture touchstones. Welcome back to another episode of Plaid Chronicles. Cognitive processing. As we embark on this exploration, we step first into the realm of cognitive processing. Picture this. You're engrossed in a show or movie, predictably cushioned by familiar narrative norms. Then out of the blue, a character speaks directly to you, not just within the world of the narrative, but to you sitting in your living room. This abrupt interaction does more than just surprise. It acts as a cognitive stimulant, sparking your brain to attention. Intriguing, isn't it? What underlies this jolt to the brain? Let's take a jaunt into the animated universe of Family Guy. This show, infamous for its liberal and frequent fourth wall breaks, catapults you right into its narrative, turning you from a mere spectator into an engaged participant.
I don't know, Stewie. If you ask me, the stock market's just a rigged game where the top 1% make out like bandits and regular people get hurt. Are you reading off a teleprompter right now? No.
The prompter's down. What do we do? Brian.
You're not just watching the show, you're a part of it. You're in a constant state of anticipation, unsure when the next fourth wall break might occur. And it's this uncertainty that keeps your mind in high gear, your focus sharpened, as you try to keep up with the show's rapid-fire humor and subversive narrative tactics. Now let's switch gears to the Marvel Universe, specifically to the world of the irreverent anti-hero Deadpool. In the Deadpool movies, the controversial character is well known for breaking the fourth wall.
2 swords and maximum effort. Hear the music.
I'm a wolf in sheep clothing.
Yeah, that's really hard on your knee. The dude who pressures her into prom sex. Yep, that was a good one.
Deadpool doesn't just exist within the confines of his cinematic world. He steps beyond, sharing cheeky asides and witty banter directly with his audience. The shattering of the conventional narrative boundary is abrupt, even disorienting, and it's meant to be. As Deadpool casually converses with viewers, the traditional narrative flow is disrupted, compelling us to sit up and pay close attention. And the result? Our minds are more active, our perceptions keener, and our reception of the unfolding story is heightened. In both of these examples, the fourth wall break serves as a cognitive wake-up call. It yanks us out of our passive viewing habits, forcing us to actively engage with the story. And in doing so, it ensures we're not just spectators, we're part of the narrative journey. So in the realm of cognitive processing, the breaking of the fourth wall has a clear role to play. It is a technique that subverts norms, pushes boundaries, and awakens our minds. But as we'll see, its impact extends beyond just our cognitive engagement. It influences our emotional responses too. And that's where our journey takes us next, to the fascinating intersection of empathy and character connection. What happens when characters step beyond the screen and speak directly to us? How does it alter our emotional connection with them? Are we more likely to empathize with the character who breaks the fourth wall? What happens to our psychology when they raise the blinds and say, "I see you, and let's chat about it"? Let's delve deeper to find out. Empathy and character connection. The next leg of our expedition transports us to the terrain of empathy and character connection. Here, we explore an intriguing question. Can the act of breaking the fourth wall enhance our emotional ties to a character? Does it strip away the layers of fiction and present the character in a light so real that we can't help but relate to them, regardless of their moral compass? Ponder over Martin Scorsese's cinematic masterpiece, The Wolf of Wall Street. The film's protagonist, Jordan Belfort, doesn't just live life of decadence, success, and moral bankruptcy in this cinematic world. He shares it directly with us.
Yeah, look, I know you're not following what I'm saying anyway, right? That's okay, that doesn't matter. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely f***ing not. But we were making more money than we knew what to do with.
He addresses us, the audience, pulling us into his story, making us privy to his innermost thoughts and feelings. As he peels back the layers of his outward persona, we're drawn into his world, into his life. The result? Despite his moral ambiguities, we find ourselves unexpectedly connected to him, emotionally invested in his journey. It is as if we're no longer just viewers, we're co-travelers in his roller coaster life. Now let's shift our focus to the gripping political drama House of Cards. The show's protagonist, Frank Underwood, is a master manipulator, a man with a Machiavellian approach to power. And yet, as he frequently breaks the fourth wall to share his thoughts, plans, and machinations with us, we find ourselves drawn to him. We're more than just spectators, we're his confidants, privy to his darkest secrets and grandest ambitions.
There are two kinds of pain. Sort of pain that makes you strong, or useless pain. Sort of pain that's only suffering. I have no patience for useless things. Moments like this require someone who will act. Will do the unpleasant thing, the necessary thing.
His direct addresses to the camera create an intriguing dynamic, one that makes us feel complicit in his exploits and heightens our empathetic connection with him. Despite his questionable morals, we're hooked to his narrative, anxiously waiting to see how his story unfolds, and it feels like it is now our story together. So, as we journey through the realms of empathy and character connection, we find that breaking the fourth wall can indeed bolster our emotional ties to characters. It's a powerful narrative tool that, when employed effectively, can make characters appear more human, more relatable, and surprisingly real. But as we'll see next, this technique isn't just about forging connections or stimulating our minds. It can also elicit strong emotional responses, from amusement to discomfort. Let's journey on to discover how humor and discomfort play into the mix. Humor and discomfort. As our exploration deepens, we stumble upon an intriguing dichotomy, the dual territories of humor and discomfort. Quite surprisingly, the act of breaking the fourth wall can trigger these powerful emotional responses, creating a rich tapestry of viewer reactions that oscillate between amusement and unease. How does this happen? Let's enter the twisted, bizarre universe of Rick and Morty. This animated series uses fourth wall breaks in ways that are as imaginative as they are unsettling. Characters in this show often acknowledge their existence within a cartoon or make meta references to the series' own narrative structure. It's a potent blend of dark humor and stark self-awareness that keeps the audience on the edge of their seats, eliciting bouts of laughter while highlighting the absurdity of the reality.
Repeat after me, Morty. Next time on Rick and Morty. Next time on Rick and Morty?
No, previously on Rick and Morty.
Ignore it, Morty. Next time on Rick and Morty. It counteracts his toxins. Next time on Rick and Morty. Whose toxins? Hey, stop it! Previously on. Grab him! Hold on tight, Morty. We gotta get through the opening titles. Opening titles of what? Oh, Rick's face! Oh, no! Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
In contrast, let's delve into the perplexing world of Fight Club. This movie uses the technique of fourth wall breaks not to amuse, but to shock. When the narrator, in an alarming revelation, confronts us with his split identity, it's not just an unexpected twist in the tale. It's an unsettling moment that forces us to question the very fabric of his reality.
On a few. So someone has to be there to switch the projectors at the exact moment that one reel ends and the next one begins. If you look for it, you can see these little dots come into the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
In the industry, we call them cigarette burns.
That's the cue for a changeover. He flips the projectors, movie keeps right on going, and nobody in the audience has any idea.
Why would anyone want this
Reality.
shit job?
The result? An emotion far removed from humor. A deep sense of discomfort that resonates long after the credits roll. This dance between humor and discomfort, generated through fourth wall breaks, is a testament to the power of this narrative device. By keeping viewers constantly on their toes, unsure of what to expect, it transformed the viewing experience into an emotional roller coaster, a journey packed with surprises, shocks, and a multitude of reactions. As we continue to delve into the narrative magic that breaking the fourth wall can create, we'll explore how it plays with our suspension of disbelief, adding yet another layer of complexity to our viewing experience. Let's journey on. Suspension of disbelief. As we continue our journey, we traverse the intriguing terrain of the suspension of disbelief. When we watch a movie or a show, we willingly suspend our disbelief, letting go of our critical faculties to fully immerse ourselves in the fictional universe unfolding before our eyes. But what happens when this gentle suspension is suddenly disrupted by a character breaking the fourth wall? Does it enhance our immersion or shatter it? First, let's enter the vibrant, colorful world of the children's television shows Elmo's World and Sesame Street. In these endearing worlds, Elmo often interacts directly with his young viewers, asking them questions and awaiting their responses. This direct interaction makes the children feel like they're part of Elmo's world or on Sesame Street, deepening their immersion and making their viewing experience more engaging.
Welcome to Elmo's world! Oh, that's what Elmo is wondering about today. Wait, what? The theater! Oh, and look, Big Bird's performing a play.
It's a fascinating use of the fourth wall break that actually enhances the suspension of disbelief. But then we find ourselves in the action-packed, wisecracking universe of Deadpool. Here, the fourth wall breaks serve a different purpose. Deadpool constantly engages with his audience, reminding us of the movie's fictional nature. It's like a splash of cold water to the face, a sudden wake-up call that disrupts our suspension of disbelief. Yet, surprisingly, this disruption doesn't shatter the illusion. Instead, it adds a unique layer to the narrative, making the movie even more compelling and engaging. So we find that the act of breaking the fourth wall can both enhance and disrupt our suspension of disbelief.
At this very moment, you are being broadcast to TVs around the world.
People are watching us?
Your every move. The audience is watching you from just beyond the fourth wall. Look for yourself.
People are watching us without our permission? Ew, what a bunch of creeps.
It's a delicate balance, the tipping of which can dramatically alter our viewing experience. As we further delve into the effects of breaking the fourth wall, we'll see how it blurs the lines between reality and fiction, creating a sense of absurdity while encouraging critical engagement. The absurd and alienation effect. As our exploration of the fourth wall continues, we find ourselves standing at an intersection between the absurd and the alienation effect. This is the point where the line between reality and fiction becomes blurred, leading us into a sense of the absurd. It's also where we're encouraged to engage critically with the content. How does breaking the fourth wall achieve this, you may ask? To answer that, let's dive into the bizarre universes of Family Guy and Rick and Morty. Both these animated shows are known for their frequent and creative breaks of the fourth wall. Characters in these shows not only acknowledge their existence within a fictional universe, but also make direct references to real-world events, personalities, and sometimes even the viewers themselves. Take a moment to think about it. Isn't it quite absurd when Peter Griffin from Family Guy suddenly turns to you, the viewer, and acknowledges that he's part of a television show? Or when Rick from Rick and Morty casually mentions a real-world event, reminding you that despite the crazy alien adventures, there's a connection to your reality. It's a disorienting blend of realities, creating an atmosphere of the absurd. But the absurdity isn't just for laughs or shock value. It also creates what's known as the alienation effect. This effect, originally associated with the dramatist Bertolt Brecht, is meant to prevent the audience from losing themselves completely in the narrative. Instead, it makes us pause, question, and critically engage with the narrative. So in these instances, breaking the fourth wall serves as a sort of reality check, a reminder that we're watching a constructed narrative. It creates an intellectual engagement, inviting us to question, interpret, and understand the story at a deeper level. So while on one hand it tickles our funny bone with its absurdity, on the other it fuels our minds by encouraging critical thought. As we move forward, let's see how this technique can also play with our expectations and enhance our viewing experience. Role of expectations. Our final destination on this explorative journey is the landscape of expectations. As an audience, we come prepared with certain preconceptions when we engage with the narrative. We're used to following a traditional story flow and anticipate events accordingly. But what happens when a character suddenly breaks the fourth wall, shattering these expectations? The result, as you might guess, is a surge of surprise and intrigue. An exemplary instance of this can be found in the political drama House of Cards. Throughout the series, Frank Underwood frequently breaks the fourth wall to share his political scheming and ambitions with the audience. He reveals his strategic plays to us, while other characters in the show remain blissfully unaware. It's like being in on a secret, one that heightens the suspense and drama. Think about it. Don't you find yourself on the edge of your seat, privy to Underwood's machinations and wondering how his unsuspecting colleagues will react when the plan unfolds? This narrative manipulation expertly subverts viewer expectations, keeping us invested in the show and eagerly anticipating each new development. Also, doesn't this break make you feel a unique kind of power? It's as if you have a front row seat to Underwood's manipulative mind, seeing his plots unravel in real time. This unexpected disruption of the usual narrative flow not only builds suspense, but also intensifies the connection between the audience and the story. You wouldn't dare fast forward through these insightful confessionals. And that's the point, in effect. Conclusion. As we wrap this up, the fourth wall, while seemingly invisible and intangible, has profound significance in the narrative universe. It serves as a threshold, a boundary that, when broken, alters our perception of the story and enhances our engagement with it. It awakens our cognitive faculties, fosters deeper connections with characters, creates an intriguing blend of humor and discomfort, challenges our suspension of disbelief, and manipulates our narrative expectations. When skillfully employed, as in the sharp wit of Deadpool, the confessional narrative of the Wolf of Wall Street, the power plays in the House of Cards, the dark humor in Rick and Morty, the unsettling revelations in Fight Club, or the interactive simplicity of Elmo's world, breaking the fourth wall transforms a passive viewing experience into an immersive, active journey through the narrative. So the next time you see a character lock eyes with the camera, remember, you're not just an observer, you're a crucial participant in the unfolding story, adding a layer of depth and complexity that enriches your viewing experience. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you checking out the video on psychology of Omni-Man and Homelander. Hopefully you enjoyed today's topic. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you and see you in the next video. Plaid signing out.
Term won't let me watch TV back at home.
Why not?
That's why. What's that?
Oh, that's okay. There's nothing good on TV anyway. Nothing.